Hey everybody, Scott here for the Helix channel. It is Thursday, and today I'm going to answer some more questions that some people have sent me about the templates. Which ones are useful? Which ones, do I use? How do you use them? Simple. Let's do that. All right, here we are at a really bizarre and complicated looking template. Let's go back into the templates. So basically just hit the button here underneath the menu. It's a knob really. And then make sure that you're on the templates. Press in the knob on the right, and that shows all of the templates. The stuff that I find useful, the quick start, of course, I used it the other day. I don't find most of these useful. They're just not for what I use. You could use the four-tone switcher if you want to connect multiple guitars, maybe a bass, keyboards, a vocal mic. That's a cool one. The guitar plus vocals is also handy, and that's just basically the same thing we had the other day. It just depends what you put in it. And then you set your inputs to, guitar, auxiliary, Variax. You can, if you use the knob on the right, you can scroll when you get up to this point, and you can set it to guitar, auxiliary, Variax, microphone. So that's how you set it up when you want to run a vocal into it. Set that on microphone, and then instead of putting an amp over here, maybe put a preamp. Get a mic pre. And then whatever effects you need, compression, you won't need any IRs, but unless that's the way you swing with your vocal sounds. But for me, the other really useful one is the guitar plus vocals plus bass plus keys, and it doesn't necessarily need to be that. You could run two guitars into it and a voice, or two guitars and well, not two voices, but two guitars, a voice, and a keys, or a guitar, bass, three instruments, and a voice is basically what you got. And to move this over to one of your preset slots in one of your user things, all you have to do is hit the save button up here on the far left, and then dedicate a spot for it. So you want to make sure that you check your set list, and user 1 is what I use, and these are the ones that I've put in here previously, and then put it on a new preset, make sure that that'll tell you nothing's there. Then hit save. Now what I can do is I can go into it and I can modify it. So I've got a guitar input, a multi-input, meaning auxiliary or Variax or whatever, and then another one that has the same, another has the same. Now, if you wanted to have your vocals here, just change that one to microphone. Come down here if you want this one just to be guitar. There you go, just guitar. And then if you want your auxiliary, set this into auxiliary. That would be your bass or whatever. And then you could set one of the returns for a third input, say keyboards, if you wanted it. I don't find that 4 things coming in and out of here personally is something that's doable, but you might be able to make it work. And if that's the case, you can set the input to none, and that way nothing's happening here. That way you could actually remove whatever effects are over here, and then when you do, that whole line actually disappears. And I find that 3 is better than the 4 anyway, because it's limiting. When you run the 4th one, it limits the amount of effects and or blocks you can run in these 3. So it's much more usable to have just 3, guitar, vocals, and then maybe another guitar or maybe a bass. I find it to be a lot easier that way. And then, you can go up here, change, you probably won't want a Minotaur on your vocals, unless, I don't know, you might. You never know. So then you can personalize and modify, make it work for you. And then the outputs is the other important part about this, because you don't want them all going out into the same place, unless you're going out into the PA, but then that'd be weird too. You want them to go out separate inputs. So set one to your 1/4 inches, one to your XLR, and one to the send. So what you would do for this one is you would have the aux in, and then one of the effects sends, or signal sends on the back here, going out. So that way you've got 3 completely discrete outputs, and you can change them to any configuration you want. You could have this one be the XLR, this one be the 1/4 inch, and this one be whatever. A SPDIF out if you want, I don't care. But it's just a really handy way of making good use of the multiple paths. And then, even then you can, take an effect, press the action button. Whoops, on this one you can't. This one's limited. On the bottom one, press action. Then you can actually have, this separate path like so. If you want to run, a delay outside of a reverb outside of a delay, so that they're not running into each other, that's what I use that function for. And it cleans up the sound. Or, if you want to do one of these numbers right here, and you press the action button, pull it down with the joystick, and then press it in again. Now you have, you can actually have a stereo send and then 2 mono sends. So you've got, like, you can pan this one to the hard left, blah, blah, blah. Pan this one hard right. Now you've got a stereo guitar send, just using the XLRs. And then, this one goes up the quarters, either quarter, and it's mono, and then this one's also mono. Well, that's digital, but, whatever. This would be mono if you're sending one of these. The SPDIF, I believe, is a stereo send, but that's a weird thing to do. So here's, this is another great way to use the templates, I think. And for just basic guitar-based things like I do, this is perfect, and more than enough, honestly. There you go, everybody. The templates made easy. It's not hard. I mean, most of them aren't really useful to me. I mean, I'm not using my Helix as a mixer for something else, or I'm not using it in a 7 cable method with an amp, or a 4 cable method with an amp. And so most of the templates you can disregard pretty much, and just go with the simple stuff. But if you want to have, a guitar, well, maybe 2 guitars and a bass, maybe vocals, use the 401, the 4-banger. I find that one's pretty cool, especially if you don't have to have a lot of effects going on. Then it's really slick. So that's what's up. Thank you to everyone that has donated to the Cancer Fund. It's very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to be starting a new preset package on Monday, and it is a modern rock one. It's Greta Van Fleet, and I think I can probably squeeze in every song they've ever recorded in there. We'll see, because they've only done some EPs. I don't even think they have a whole album. I've got to do some more research, but that's what's up. And that's what the preset was yesterday, and it's going to be part of it. And yeah, so stay tuned. I'm going to be starting that on Monday, but I'll be back tomorrow with another Free Set Friday. So come on back. I'll see you then. And until then, rock on.